The four guns doesn't actually allude to guns, in typical The Blacklist fashion. Instead, the four people on Raymond Reddington's blacklist this week are goners, which is Yiddish for thieves. These are not your typical pickpockets. After all, they act throughout Senator Cynthia Panabaker's re-election speech in the park as an apex predator, a single organism of coordinated effort that skillfully manages to steal 2 guns, a radio, and a cell phone off of the 2 Secret Service men tasked with protecting Panabaker from dissidents. One of the Secret Service guns is the one that is intended for Panabaker, but accidentally shoots one of her agents in the shoulder. A gonif is a cunning trickster, not a murderer, who steals what belongs to another while avoiding detection at all costs, and avoiding contact with flesh and blood. The notice of divine justice is something that the gonif has no fear of. The worst form of robber is called a gonif in Yiddish. An example would be a man who invites a guest to dinner while fully aware that the guest will not be able to come. Given that the blacklist invokes the gonif, it is impossible to ignore its antagonist, the gazlan, particularly given how prevalent they are in this episode. The gazlan is strong, brash, and takes without caring who sees. According to Jewish law, the gonif is required to pay back twice as much as the gazlan did. Reddington is a prime example of a blatant robber with a sense of moral justice. The tacit cooperation between Red and Agent Dembe Zuma is this episode's standout moment. This episode gives fans of Dembe and Red their first look at them collaborating once more. Since Red's near-death chamber encounter in Season 6 and until Season 8, when these two were last working together, there have been chinks in their alliance's armor. In The Four Guns, their cooperation is quiet yet effective. Without Dembe telling him, Red would not have been aware of the specifics of Panabaker's attempted murder. As the show goes on, the chances of a Red-Dembe reunion only increase. The next breakthrough occurs when Quentin Dodd the Claw, the commander and brains behind the Four Guns, is apprehended and questioned in the post office by Jacob Pitts. Director Harold Cooper believes that the Claw is cunning and familiar with the criminal code enough to rapidly get him sent back to freedom. Director Cooper then calls Red to share his opinion. Red immediately hangs up the phone, and when he turns to face us, we can all see that the Claw is still restrained and under Red's care. Enter torture expert Teddy Brimley, and his metal cart filled with bone nibblers, a shaping mallet, and the terrifying Jiggly Saw. When has Brimley failed to get information from individuals he interrogates? The Claw will divulge the whereabouts of the man who blackmailed the Four Gonifs into cooperating with his scheme to shoot a stolen Secret Service weapon at Panabaker if Brimley just smells enough bone dust, according to Brimley, who rushes into the assassin's hideout as soon as Red learns that information. Agent Dembe Zuma is in charge of the FBI. The FBI quickly discovers that the assassin is a former Secret Service agent and marksman named Lucas Roth, who intentionally shot Panabaker's agent in the shoulder and didn't miss. He wasn't even shooting for the senator. Instead, his primary goal is to inflict pain so that Will Strickland, the other agent on Panabaker's detail, will undoubtedly be on duty when Roth retaliates. Roth is not an assassin but a gazlan who is prepared to give his life to expose the shanda of a dishonest Secret Service that compromises the integrity of the presidency and democracy for the sake of power and politics. Who is Roth's real enemy? Will Strickland is a special agent. This episode features yet another pleasant adventure in addition to Red and Dembe figuring out how to play on the same team from opposite ends of the field. Red buys a poison book from a bookseller's extremely exclusive collection and has it delivered to Robert Vesco, his old friend and mentor, who is currently imprisoned. It's easy to say that Red and Vesco embrace a delicate connection, even while getting a buddy out of jail by almost killing them may not seem like a charitable deed. For decades, these two have betrayed one another. First, Vesco gained Red's confidence by persuading Red to invest in a lucrative project in Paraguay, which resulted in Red being left penniless and abandoned in a brothel in Asunción. Vesco maintains that he was merely imparting to Red the most important lesson possible: never put your trust in anyone. Red, though, is giggling and beaming while sharing a caviar cracker with Vesco on the private flight. Perhaps Red's present to Vesco, the book Treasure Island, is a hint of an upcoming adventure when they will once more work together to decipher clues and find treasure. Post your thoughts in the comments section below and let us know what you think. Click the like button if you enjoyed the video. You can also subscribe to the channel to see more breakdowns. Thank you for watching. See you later.